Hello, it's Monday night. Welcome to another stream. Hope everyone had a good weekend. As usual, we'll give people about 10 minutes or so to join us before we get started. Today I'm going to be updating the Han Solo character model. Better just save a new copy there. Just in case I don't like what I do with the old one. In case I don't like what I do with the new one, I don't delete the old one, I should say. In case I don't like what I do with the new one, yeah, so I'm going to be creating an updated character model, basically just his head and face. I've been trying to learn the new rendering software. Luke turns out perfectly. Leia looks perfect. Han, for some reason, looks absolutely nothing like Harrison Ford when he renders that in the new software. I have no idea why. So I thought the best way to fix that would be to create a new character model and see if that makes a difference. Floopy, welcome. And just to make it more interesting, he looks like Harrison Ford here in the character creator. So I don't know how this is going to work until I actually finish the character and then go and render him out in Omniverse. Because the way he looks now looks fine to me, but for some reason when he renders out in Omniverse it doesn't look anything like this. So that's something to fix. I've already given Han some new hair. It's a much more detailed hair model than I was using before. I didn't have this when I created the original model, which is why I didn't use it before. But I feel like it looks better and looks like what Harrison Ford would has his hair, or at least had his hair back around the time that the original trilogy was made. So I hope this will be an interesting viewing experience. I'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started. So basically, Character Creator has a plugin which lets you create a character head and face from a photo. So that is what I'll be using to generate a new face for Harrison Ford or Han Solo. The picture I'm actually going to use is because the photos taken around the time that the original trilogy was made, the cameras weren't so good. I can't really use photos from back then. Also, it's very tricky because the light needs to be absolutely perfect on the face. So if you have a light source on one side of someone's face and it's a little bit darker and shadowy on the other, that's going to show up in the picture, because as good as headshot is, it's not that smart. so the lighting needs to be perfect. So what I'm actually using is a screenshot of Han Solo from one of the Battlefront games, the recent ones, because the character models are so detailed that they look pretty close to the actors. And the reason I'm not using the models directly, because I know that I could easily take one of the character models from the game and put them in iClone, is the character model faces won't animate so well as the faces in Character Creator. So that's why I'm doing it this way rather than using the character models from the game. Floopy, I have I'll go back to Twist. I'll answer you first and I'll go back to Floopy because I don't need to. I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you're really enjoying Heir to the Empire. If you want to catch up with the stream later on when you get some time, it will be on the channel as soon as I finish, so you can catch up and see what you missed there. But otherwise, I'm glad you enjoyed Heir to the Empire so far, and I hope you'll continue to watch it as more episodes come along. So Floopy, yes, I have done a lot of photoshopping in my time. All kinds of things. Why'd you ask? Twist, not a problem. Yeah, you're always welcome here on the stream. I stream every Monday. It is 10 past, so I think it's time to get started on this process. So I don't actually use Photoshop itself, I use Paint Shop Pro. But the technique of photoshopping to edit photos is the same. So this seems a little similar to what you do. Talk about that, and you'll see as I go through this process how similar they are or not. So this is the character model I've been using, plus the new hair. You haven't seen the new hair yet in this series because I've only just added it to the model. But I think that looks good. But the actual face is the same one I used before. So go to the headshot plugin. Well, sometimes the Elder software is better because that's before the... I haven't checked to see what Adobe is doing now. I believe you have to have a subscription to use the software, and it's ridiculously expensive. So I don't blame you for using the older one. The Spider Apex, thank you so much for watching it. That's all I can say to that. Hope you'll continue to watch the series as it progresses. Alright, so I am just got Explorer up and I'm looking for the photo I'm going to use. Yeah, Floopy, I completely understand where you're going with that. I will say no more because I don't want you to get into trouble. But also, I don't blame you. Right, so I've got Explorer up on my second monitor, so you can't really see it. But basically, I'm going to drag photo from Explorer right here where it says drop, drag and drop, and you get this character creation menu. Body type current because I want to keep it the same. Skin type we'll go with soft and see how that goes. You can always bring in do it again and do rough. Maybe we should go with rough. Yeah, let's go with rough. Does his lines on his face, after all. So this will take a few minutes to process. So I agree, I don't like software as a service. Especially not when it's that expensive. I get it from a professional perspective. Like, if you if you're a business, then I can see why a business might have to. It's better for a business to pay subscription as far as that goes. But for individuals, or hobbyists, or just people who just want to, excuse me, people just want to learn how to use it. Subscription fee can be very off-putting. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat there. So waiting for it to process. There we go. That is the new model. Now this is just basically, it's just a new texture. There's obviously glitches, the skin's the wrong colour, and things like that, which we will fix. I'm actually not sure I like the rough. I think we might go to smooth because it's kind of splotchy. Yeah, we're going to go for... We'll go for soft. So again, this will take a couple of minutes. So back to the chat. Jamie, well, hello and welcome. I will try not to die. I had some chocolate cookies earlier and I think that was just a crumb that got stuck in my throat. But I got some water here, so that should help. The YouTube streaming page is telling me that not enough videos being sent, which is probably because the processing of the photo is slowing it down. So if it's a little bit choppy, that's why. But once it's finished processing, it should go back to normal. Aki, excuse me, Aki Gamer, thank you. I do appreciate that. I've played enough Phasmophobia to completely understand why, and recommend that you don't do any seances. So yeah, don't. Right, so we got the soft. I think that's the same one actually. It's still processing. Or is it? That looks better anyway. But there are things to fix, like there's this texture issue here around the nose. The eyes are the wrong colour. Face is slightly too wide. But these are things I'm going to be fixing next. Also the skin's slightly the wrong colour. Like, it matches the photo, but it doesn't feel right for Harrison Ford. His neck's fine, but it's his face that's too wide. Once I narrow his head, it'll look better. Because for some reason, whenever you import a photo, it always makes the head too wide for the character or the person that's in the photo. One of the first ones I did was myself, so obviously I know that my head isn't as wide as this software created. It's one of the things that we'll fix. First, we are going to go down and let's see. eyelid mask. Now this is so that when the character blinks, I don't think there's the option. Where is the option for it? I don't know. But when the character blinks this way, it's not a stretched texture over the eyelid. So we're going to set that to medium upper eyelid. Yeah, exactly. Once I've finished messing with this texture, we will go back and fix the head shape. Right, let's see if that makes a difference. Hopefully by the time I finish, you'll see the difference with the neck. And well, now he's a little bit too pale, so let's change that. That's a valid point. It's not weird, especially with someone like this, because obviously you're very familiar with Harrison Ford and how he looks because of all the films, not just Star Wars, everything else you've seen him in, and so this looks wrong. And it's not. I want you guys to point out things where he doesn't look right, because that way I can get the character model looking better. So don't be sorry that you pointed out his neck. Abstract Trinity. I'm glad you think so. Still a little bit too pale. So for those who excuse me, have just joined since I explained what I'm doing, in Omniverse, which is a new rendering software, I've been testing out the different character models to see how they look. And Luke came out looking great. Leia looks great. And Thrawn and Pelion and so on. For some reason, Harrison Ford, or Han Solo, doesn't look anything like the character, even though it's the same character model. So I don't know why that is. But as a solution, what I thought I would do is create a new character model and see if that makes a difference. Now I've already changed his hair. I did that before the stream. I picked a new hairstyle that is more detailed and looks closer to the way Han had his hair in the original trilogy, especially Return of the Jedi. So that's already in place, and now I'm just using a picture of Han Solo to generate a new character model. BitChute. I don't know what that is. Let me just make a note of it. I'll have a look at that after the stream. I've never heard of it before. Right, so the texture colour is looking good. Skin colour. Actually, no, he's still a bit too pale. Let's try one more time to get this right. Well, I'm going to stick with that for now, and I can actually edit the texture manually later on, which I'm going to have to do anyway to fix things like that. But we'll come back to the texture issues. Let's move on to the shape of the face now. As I said, his head's too wide. So we go to Modify, and Morphs, adding all these different options for changing the shape of different parts of his body. So we want that one. A little better. It's still a bit wide at the back there. Now I don't know where all the different options are, so you have to bear with me for a moment while I try and figure out what I need. Might be under headshot, which offers more. Here we go. Yeah, that's the one I need. So I'm going to make the face wider and the head narrower. This is very tricky because you can get it just right and then you can go just a little bit too far the wrong way and then he looks wrong again. So it can be a little bit tedious, but I'm glad I've got you guys here for company. So where was it? Headshot. Head width. Okay. And the other thing is his jaw is a little bit too low, I think. But I'm just on my second monitor. I'm looking at pictures of Harrison Ford. Yeah, his jaws should be a little bit squarer there. So let's see if I can find the right option for that. Let's do it on this side because I can got the shadow there for reference. It really does. Oddly, I've made it wider, but it looks better. Right, we'll come back to that one. And there's so many options. He's looking better now. Still too wide. Let's narrow it down a bit. Width. can't see the chat for a moment because I am looking at pictures of Harrison and Ford on the monitor. I think his jawline here is a little bit too round. Okay, let me get the chat back up. There we go. So let's go back to jaw. We're going back to this one. It's kind of I don't specifically ask anyone to make me anything. So far I've been able to either find what I need online. So let's say the bridge of the Chimera. There's people have made Star Destroyer bridge models which I've been able to find and download and import into the software. And then the other environments, very rarely do I model everything from scratch, but there are environments where I've put different elements together which I found to create the location. Let's see, the marketplace on Bimasari. I didn't create the buildings, but I did bring the buildings into the software and then position them to create the marketplace, and then place the stalls and the characters and set the sky and that kind of thing. That is something you can do within iClone. It's not going to be something I show tonight on the stream. If you do check back, there is one where I've started creating an environment for chapter 20, which is, I was about to say it's not for a while, but chapter 18 is the next one I'm working on, so it isn't that far off. So I'll need to finish out at some point. But yeah, you can find when I was getting started with that on if you check back my videos. He's looking better. It doesn't look right though. I smell like it. Hoppy, welcome. Oh yeah, Kashik was a good fun one to make. And you guys watched me do that one too. So yeah, Kashik was another one that's on the stream more recently. Putting that together. Hoppy, have you seen there's a new Star Wars Lego video game? They released a gameplay trailer, and they did their take on who shot first. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen the video, but check out the new trailer. It was released a few days ago. Somebody X, welcome back. I think his chin is slightly the wrong shape. Gee. Oh, that's why. Excellent. Well, it'd be a good thing to follow up the stream with, and I have to say I'm looking forward to that game, and get the Switch copy so that I can play it when I'm rendering whichever Heir to the Empire chapter I'm working on at the time. I feel like his face is slightly off, but much closer than it was. So I'm going to look at the picture of him. Okay, I know what it needs to do now. It's the cheekbones, cheeks shape. So let's go to cheeks. Actually, what I'm going to do is, because I'm quite happy with the progress so far, save that. What does it? Was it part of the game? How does it work in the? If Flippy, you're gonna have to explain how did that work in Minecraft as a menu option. Somebody X, I'm glad you enjoyed the motion capture video. I made that footage a while ago. I recorded that footage. It's for chapter 16, so I've had it for a while. I only just got the chance to sit down and put it together to do the behind the scenes, but I'm glad you found it interesting. Jimmy, yep, and of course I haven't even touched his neck. So far all I've been doing is changing his shape of his head. So now that his head's narrower and more the right shape, his neck looks better proportioned. So yeah, absolutely correct to point out. Okay, let's see. I haven't played the mobile version of Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft for a long time actually, but so that wasn't a thing when I last played it, which I guess shows how long ago that was. Yeah, cheekbones. Actually, that's more or less the right shape now. As for his hair, Lost Fires. It's kind of a dark brown. The lighting here actually makes it darker than it actually is. So let me turn that off. Hold on. So that's without any of the fancy lighting. I kind of prefer that on because it makes it look slightly more realistic. What am I going to do next? Oh yeah, next thing, eyes are the wrong colour. Whenever you import a photo, it will always make the eyes dark brown, which is not what Harrison Ford's eye colour actually is. Flippy, I'm glad you're liking the improved face. Chris, maybe you comment. I'm glad you're enjoying it so much. Achieving all 3 books will be a huge moment. Might take a while to get to it, but I'm glad you like what I've done so far. Which eye colour? Nope, that looks wrong. Yes, I'm afraid there's a collection of eyeballs on the screen. I think that's right. We'll never get away from the eyeballs. And then eyebrows. Oh, need a quick drink. And again, we've got the spam bots, and I was amused by that. Let's see. These may be the wrong colour to start with, but we can change the colour of them. First, it's just a matter of getting the shape right. I think those are not quite right. to get rid of those. Side areas of his chin more squared off. A little bit, maybe. I think actually those are the right. They're a little bit too high. They are right, but fortunately, I can lower them like this. And Jamie, I'm sorry that caused you discomfort there. I didn't really think about that, so I do apologise for that. But I will not be going back to the eyeball screen, so you should be right for the rest of the stream. That must have been a fun video. And to think conventions happening way back then. I did actually meet Gary Kurtz at a convention in London, and I actually kind of stumbled because I didn't know what to say to him. There we go. Captain Spire, thank you so much for your super chat. Still learning how to use the new software. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this updated character models, because the Luke and Leia look great, as did models like Thrawn, Pelion, and Sabayoth, and so on. For some reason, when I tested out Han, he looked nothing like Han. So I'm not quite sure why that was. So I am creating a new character model for Han to see if that makes a difference by using a photo of him and importing that into the software. I think that should be okay. Yeah, so when I was editing the mesh, the eyebrows are actually lots and lots of little squares with hair textures on them, which is what you're seeing there. I'm just using that as a method to move the whole set of eyebrows around on his face to try and get it right. So we will save. There was a picture of Harrison Ford I used to reference before in Return of the Jedi. bring him on screen. Well, he looks like a corpse next to it. So what I'm going to do is edit the texture to get rid of these dark patches around his eyes, which I'll do that next, and under his nose, and then see if that makes a difference. Right. Oh yeah, not to worry, those face features there is on the the photo I used, so it's automatically added to the texture of his face. Right, so head. Hoppy, you're mixing your Indian hand there with that statement. Okay, so this is the texture. So what we want to do is get rid of these dark patches here and around, sort out these issues around the nose. So I'm just going to use the clone tool. I want it to not look dead by the time that I finish this. So nope. Starting with these because they're the easiest ones to fix. No, too far away. Probably could. Same concept, really. I mean, now that you mention it, I'm thinking about it, and yeah, it probably would work. Of course, you need to be able to print it, which is not something I could do. I suppose it'd be the ultimate cosplay tool, is if you could do that. I don't like what I've done around his nose there. A stamp tool, I guess that's what they call it in Photoshop. That's more like it. That should make that look better. Well, you know they had laser whips in Star Wars before. It was a Sith weapon. Basically a lightsaber as a whip. Right, next is I'm going to create a new layer. Yes, I know what I said there. Let's go with 100. See if I did it before and it's can't quite remember what I did, but I think it was something along these lines. third phase of Moon, thank you for watching. It's nice to be able to show the process of making all these things. And I made these character models long before I started streaming, so I haven't actually had a need to show this part of the process before. Right, let's save that. Yes. And see how that looks. Still very dark under the eyes. So let's get rid of these eyebrows, because he's got actual eyebrows in the software. Nox04, thank you for watching the series. I grew up with the books as well, and so it's fun to be able to bring them to life the way that I imagined when I read them originally. Star Wars Theology, thank you so much. I was wondering how long before someone made a bantha joke here in the channel. Gee, let's turn that lighting off. Okay. It would explain the dark circles, but I want to get rid of the dark circles because they do make him look kind of dead, which is not the look I'm going for. I also have to... This is the bump texture. Theology, yes, you can make the joke here. Which wasn't the... So the bumped map is the one that creates all the little bumps on his face. Just trying to figure out where that is in the... Which texture that's on. It's got to be this one. Yes, there. Okay, let me fix that. Personally, I'm of the mind that all fans of every aspect of Star Wars are welcome here, because it's the best way to keep interest in the expanded universe alive and introduce its new people, because a lot of people were introduced to Star Wars through Disney content, and if we chase them away, then they're not going to be interested in learning about Heir to the Empire and the expanded universe. So yeah, make as many Mandalorian jokes as possible. The only thing I will disallow spoilers. Somebody X, yes, they probably do. On the other hand, they're probably really good at, if a chick gets up in the night, needs to go to the bathroom, they don't need to turn lights on because their eyes will light up the room for them. It's better-ish. It'll do. Alright, let's... I do have a copy of that book. It's over there somewhere. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it because I've been busy making this. But yeah, I do have a copy. Right, let's... make him look less dead. That made him look more dead. Well. Oh. Because I turned off that layer with all the improved lighting around his face. Okay, that's better. Mario, welcome. Well, their homeworld's frozen, so I imagine they might not like the sun so much. So I guess they would wear sunglasses. Probably more like a visor or something like that. Still a little bit dark around the eyes. And the lips are way too dark as well, so we're going to fix that. Yep, he's looking much better than when we started. Still not perfect, but we'll get there. Let's lighten... I'm just going to duplicate that, see if that makes... Oh, that's a bit too... Just do that as a cheat. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to adjust. So the way his works here now. The features on the front of his face, like up here, his forehead and the cheeks, are much brighter, and then the rest of his face is not. So we need to fix that. And if you look at the texture, you can see that his face is right here, and then the rest is just kind of pinkish. So I work out if it's better to make these bits match the pink around here, or make the pink match the paler bit. Let's try matching the paler bit first, and if that doesn't work, we can go the opposite direction. So another new layer. This is not the best. I'm sure there are better ways to do this, but no, that's not going to work, is it? Yeah, we need to make the paler bits around his face darker. That will probably be easier. So let's choose a darker shade. I don't see them doing two separate timelines in the Disney canon. Almost needs. There we go. Almost line that just a little bit more. Do you use your motion capture suit for when people are walking and fighting? To a certain extent. If I need characters walking a long distance, then I'll use stock walking animation, because I don't have a lot of space in my house, so I can't. If I wanted to have a character walk across a huge hangar bay, I don't have that kind of space here, so I would use stock animations for that, or background walking or running. For the same reason, I can't run very far in the house because there just isn't space for it. I'll do some fighting as well. I've done lightsaber duels and things like that for other projects. Things I don't do are stunt work, like falling to the ground, throwing myself around, because I don't want to damage either myself or the suit. The newer suits are a little bit sturdier. I don't have one of those, so I don't do that kind of stuff. But mostly, I'll do as much as I can because it is fun. Now he's looking less. He still looks kind of dead, so we're going to change the skin tone up a little bit to make him look less pale. But I think I've got the details on his face right. So we are going to change the contrast. Let's bring it up to 8. think his jawline needs a little bit more work as well in a minute. Somebody X, yes I do, because I only have one suit. If you go back and watch my fan film Imperials, there's a 3-way lightsaber duel, and I did all 3 roles. Well, that's not technically true. The first 30 seconds of the fight, to 30 seconds, I can't remember. First short bit of the fight, I did get 2 of my friends to do the motion captures for it. We spent an entire afternoon and just got a tiny bit of motion capture, and I'm really happy with what we did, but getting them together again was really difficult. So in the end I thought it's easier for me just to figure it out, to learn the fight, all 3 parts, and do it, and then I spent an evening doing the rest of the fight scene myself once I'd figured out all the choreography for it. It was an interesting experience. Do you think that looks like the right colour now? Where is the... Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Brow needs to come down, and the jawline needs to be slightly pointier. I'll move that over there so I can see it while I'm editing. Actually, the next thing I should do is change his arm colour to match the rest of him. So what did I change it to? -2 plus 8. So -2 plus 8. Just so I remember that I've done that. And on his body too. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to worry about his leg texture because his legs are completely covered. Right, so we're going to go back to finishing off his shape of his head. Actually, let me catch up on the chat a little bit first. And save. That's probably a good idea. It did take a lot of practice to do the 3-way lightsaber duel. But it was worth it in the end. If you go, you'll find the fan film on my channel if you want to check it out. And that particular lightsaber duel's kind of in the middle somewhere. I hope Card does show up in canon sometime. It'd be nice to see a live action Card. Mario, yeah. Everything after chapter 1 is motion captured. Apart from the stunt work and things like and long walk sequences. I didn't do it in chapter 1 because I just did it as a test project and used stock animation because I was really focusing on the space battle, and I didn't really expect it to go the way it did as far as popularity. So yeah, I didn't do it. There's a case of it doesn't actually take long to put the suit on, but it feels like it does when I'm thinking about putting it on. What age would you say he is here? Say mid to late 30s. Yeah, mid 30s, 35, 36 maybe. So the EU come back. I don't think there would or should be a crossover, but I would like to see them continue to publish stuff, and even if it has the Legends label on it, just to say, well, this is a separate timeline, but we're going to continue telling stories over here, and this is our new timeline over in one place, and you can do it both ways. I mean, work for Marvel. The comics aren't that related to the movies and the MCU. Obviously, they do share similarities with characters, and the MCU borrows storylines from the comics, but the comics aren't. They're still telling their own stories without having to worry too much about what the MCU is doing. Flipper, yeah, the hue and saturation are pretty common tools everywhere. Hoppy, I do remember that book. Actually, I found Invincible, one of the worst books I've ever read, because they spent the previous 8 books establishing all these character arcs and plot lines, and then they also just rushed through it all in 200 pages. It didn't really spend much time tying it up properly, just wanted to get the paycheck to get it done as quickly as possible, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I enjoyed the rest of the story up to that point. Well, I'm trying to make Han Solo look like Harrison Ford, so it's up to you whether you find him attractive or not. But basically, I just wanted to make him look accurate. Right, so we're going to change his face shape a little bit. Let's go back to the jawline. Did I say it was wrong? Oh, the brow needs to come down, and the jawline needs to be a little pointier. Let's do the brow first. Helps to have the right option. Now, if I could have one setting to make okay. Sometimes sarcasm doesn't come across through text, especially when I'm paying attention partly to the chat and then partly to what I'm doing here. Brow has been lowered. Looks pretty good. Now for the chin. His chin's a little squarer. Who was it said that earlier? There we go. Too much. That went the wrong way. That's the way we need to go. And a little sharper. Okay. Now we just need to narrow the jawline a little bit, and then I think we might be done. Nope. Nope. Not that one. That's the one. Or is it? No, it's not. this can take some time. I wonder what this one does. Actually, a little bit. I've seen the comparison, the two. Someone's taken a picture of Harrison Ford's face and then put a line down the middle and then just mirrored it to make him look very happy and very sad, just by mirroring one half of his face to the other. How much do you like the two books? You mean the Hand of Thrawn books? I really enjoyed those. And Jamie, I agree. Luke and Leia were so much easier to make than Han. But I think we got him right. About as right as I'm going to get him anyway. So I am going to save him now. And the process of taking him from character creator into Omniverse is quite a long, tedious one. So I am not going to stream doing that. So I think that's the end of the stream for tonight. I'm glad you like the way he looks and not a zombie anymore. Yeah, so I need to test him out properly and make sure he's looking as good as possible in the Omniverse renderer. The whole reason I'm doing this tonight is because he didn't look anything like himself, which is a big problem when you put him next to Luke and Leia and they look great, and then he looks like someone completely different. Thrawn is a lot easier because I didn't use any photos. I just used these slider tools to create a face that looked Thrawn-like. From various comics and video game appearances. I didn't really follow his Rebels appearance, apart from the uniform. So yeah, I think I'm done with Han for the night. Look at him there. I'm really pleased with the way he's turned out. So thank you all for coming. Adam's apple. Well, there is an option for that somewhere. I think he's looking right. Oh, here we go. Adam's apple. Just have a bit of one. Just good. That was a good point there. Okay, now I'm going to save. So yeah, thank you all for coming, helping me out with Han, pointing out different aspects of his appearance to make sure I got him right. See you all next week, and may the Thrawn be with you. Take care.